Welcome to Sacred Spaces, the other side of the story. I am Queen Carlenia, and I am so excited today to reintroduce you to Queen Amenna Scott. And she has been on here before, but she's on here in a new capacity as an author of The Perfect Life. And she is so excited about this book. I'm going to be quiet so you can see her smiling. She can't wait to tell us about the book. And I read the book. I got a preview. I'm so honored and grateful to you, Queen, for sharing that information with me. As a matter of fact, when we did Sacred Spaces, the other side of the story, the last time you were in the hospital, and I believe that's where this book was birthed. So I'm going to turn it
Mm,
over to you and let you take it and take the story from there. Welcome.
yeah. Hey, yeah. Just like Queen Carlinia said, I was in the hospital. I was in the hospital actually for migraines. And they discovered I had chronic migraines. I was having bad headaches all the time. And that's probably why I was in the hospital because God wanted me to sit down
Hmm.
because I'm always busy and I'm always busy doing this, doing that, helping this person, helping that person. Anybody that knows me know I'm about that. I'm about serving, helping others and giving because that's just me. I always been like that. But when I was in there, I just don't. I was just spending my time with God, talking to Him, and I ain't even gonna lie. Next thing I know, God was talking to me, and then all of a sudden, He was like, "Do this, do that, write this, write that." And next thing you know, I'm hearing every last word come out his mouth about this book. And I was like, what? Oh, wow, and I'm like, what you want me to do with this book, Because I'm like, wait, I never experienced this. But then when I think about it, I'm like, God, is you trying to tell me something, you know? Because you set me here because my body was talking to me and I wasn't listening.
Wow.
So you trying to tell me something. You telling me something. You saying I was ignoring the signs as well.
Hmm.
So it was basically, and then when I like I said, he was basically telling me, he told me the title of the book, Angel. He gave it the spelling because it's not how you spell angel. The
Hmm.
A on the end is silent. It's silent for a reason though, and you have to catch on to that though. You have
Tell
to
tell
catch
us
on to
how tell us how you
why the
spell
A is
angel.
out. It's
Just tell us how you spell angel.
yes, it's spelled Angel hyphen A.
Okay.
Now the A is silent because that's what angel is about. Angel was silent. And if you know an angel is always doing God's work. Angel always doing God's work. You can have a good or a bad angel, because you have a godly angel, you have a devil that's assigned to you too, that's trying to keep you away from doing the things of God. So sometimes as we be in these modes, we have these angels that's assigned to us, but we're not listening to the angel that is trying to talk to us, because to be honest, we are silent. We are silent. We are them silent angels that are trying to get that message around. So we use little tactics to get you to see. And when you don't notice that, we try to go to another extreme measure. If you don't notice that, then we're going to take it to another one. We're going to try until we can get through to you.
Mhm.
But sometimes all our effort, it just don't count. it don't count until the end, until you see exactly your life flashes behind you, and you be like, okay, um, I see it now. Yeah, but you didn't see it then. And when you had the time, and we have, like I said, we have these angels, and I love it. And I look, I learned through this book. Look, I don't take it lightly. I'm talking about this year is a year of wake up. I'm telling you, I've been waking up. Like, this book is exactly what it is. It's basically a wake up call, because, like I was saying, you have an angel, and sometimes our angel man is saying, it's actually saying, okay, I'm putting this out there. I'm not being silent no more. I'm putting it out there to you. Now I am silent in the background, but when I want your attention, I expect for you to answer and listen and pay attention. And at this time, sometimes we listen to what we so call the other angel man. That's more of the distraction area. So it puts our distraction on something else besides listening to that angel that's trying to give us the signs that we should be looking at. And that's when our spirit angel become quiet when we don't pay attention. And so that's when we more focus on this side, because see, this side looks good to us. You see what I'm saying? This side, I gotta do this. I gotta get this done. I got this is where the money at.
It looks like
This
it
where
makes sense.
Yes, this is where I understand more properly.
Mm-hmm.
See, on this side, this unknown, this an unknown side. I'm like, okay, I see this. I see what you're doing. I do see, I recognize this thing. But should I take heed of it? N- Yeah, you should. But in our mindsets, no, we're not going to take heed to it, to the fact it could be standing in front of us. And we like, well, yeah, that right there seems, yeah, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. You see? And see, we try to make sense of it. We be like, I gotta see what this means first before I go there,
Mm-hmm.
instead of walking on faith and going there. You
Yes.
see?
Yes.
Because we gotta see things all the time before we enter. But see, when you walk by faith, you don't see. You just going by your actions. And see, that's the difference between the two angels. You got an angel right here that's speaking to you silently, but showing you signs. But see, you're not listening to this angel. You're listening to the one that's actually showing you all the things that your delusion wants you to have. It's only a delusion that he's showing you. Oh yeah, this what you want for real. But see, that's not what you need. And see, at that time, this is what the book is about. It's about a wake up call where, and I hope I break it down to y'all. I'm dead serious. I hope I broke it down a good
Take
enough
your
for you to
time. Take your time
understand.
because what you're saying is so relevant. And I will. This is sacred space is the other side of the story. Actually, as you were talking, I literally heard the angel talking through you. When I say that, I'm talking about the good angel. Um, it said my connection is unstable. I'm not. Can you hear me? I want to make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me? Perfect. Okay. I believe when I replay this, I heard you began to talk as if you were the angel. Like the angel was coming through you. We do that. You kept saying we do this and we do that and we do this, and you're not paying attention like until it's too late. So even how profound this book is that you're talking about God bringing this through you. And as you're sitting here speaking, people listening to this might miss it because it
Exactly.
was flawless. But you're like, you started to say we, and we bring this, and we, the angel, like we are the angels. When you said we are the angels, I was confused for a second. That threw me. But then he kept saying we this and we that. That was the angel speaking. I want y'all to understand that it's so subtle. The communication is so subtle. So when that, as you're describing, the other angel speaks, even when they interject between the signs that we're seeing, it's subtle.
Mhm.
But that's more real because the world we live in is turned upside down. And so it's
Yeah.
to make more sense. Oh, this is logical. Like you said, well, we have to make money, we have to do this, but the signs are putting us in a different they're sending us in a different direction.
Yes,
That
and
doesn't make
sometimes
logical sense, right?
yes, and that don't make logical sense.
Yes.
Sometimes that's what faith all about. Faith don't make sense. Faith don't make sense. Like, and sometimes we as people, we tend to have to figure it out first before we take a step. We have to figure it out. We have to have everything in order. We have to have this. We have to have that, and have this. And but when you walk on faith, I'm telling you, when you walk by faith, like Nehemiah, I love Nehemiah. Nehemiah, I talk about Nehemiah all the time because I love Nehemiah because Nehemiah reminds me so much, so much of me in a way of how I operate. Okay, I operate in how when I want things, I get more like on the Caleb side, but Nehemiah, he actually took time out to pray to God and got his assignment, got these letters, got the directions of who to go to, who to who to talk to governors. If he didn't go by these things, if he didn't pray and ask God to take the lead, to lead him and guide him in the right direction, the walls of Jericho wouldn't have went up. It wouldn't have built. It wouldn't have got built. You know what I'm saying? And he had to take these steps. He had to walk around 7 times. And I'm telling you, everything that God told him to do, it happened. It happened because of the fact of obedience.
Mhm.
Obedience is the key. And then not just obedience, it's because of his faith in God. See, and then if I go to another person, that's why I love this book. I'm telling you, Caleb, my pastor was just talking about this. I love talking about Caleb too. Caleb is like that go getter and like not afraid of nothing. And I had to work my way up to not being afraid from being bullied, being bullied by teachers, being outcast from my family. I mean, I had to learn how to fight. I had to learn how to fight. I always got treated differently from adults. I always got treated definitely women. I never, and people be like, Mina, you don't really have no friends. I don't. I don't have friends. I have sisters. Okay. And that's what I call it. I don't call my closest friends. I call them sisters because I look up to them. So, and it took time. It took time for my my encourager, my mentor to come around. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about. To uplift somebody. And from where I came from to now, I'm just like that cub looking at this adult in the mirror saying, dang, I love you.
Yes.
Too.
Yes.
This, you are really that tigress I wanted you to be. And I'd be like, yes, I am. And so that's what reminds me of Caleb. Caleb was that go getter. Like He wanted that milk and honey, them clusters of grapes. He wanted all that. He wanted all of that stuff. And so them spies, they was some of them spies was afraid because of the giants that was there in the city. But Caleb was like, oh no, we're going to go get it. God said, this is ours. We're going to go get it. And that's exactly how I love to put my life as that go getter. I'm not afraid to take a slap in the face. I'm not afraid. I used to be afraid of what people say, what people think about me. And yes, sometimes you be like, wait, hold up. But now I be like, oh nah, I am that tigress now. And I had to learn that because I have a strong big sister bond. I have Queen Jennifer to thank because I look at her all the time as my inspiration because she's always, I'm talking about, sewing into me, always pulling into me. Like, I mean, what I went through with taking a step into leadership, taking a step into leadership. It wasn't easy for me because I was a little nerve wracking because I don't know everything. Like I know I'm very intelligent. If anybody come across me, they know this
Right.
just by
Yes.
talking to me. but But some things I don't know. I don't know everything. God didn't put everything in my brain cells. So sometimes I have to do a little research here and there, research here and there to do something. And when I took this step in leadership, I'm telling you, far as this book, I was like, God, I don't know what are you doing, but this is gonna be awesome. And I said, and I'm telling you, in my spirit, I knew when I say something about God, when I say this, God said this is going to shut the whole stores down. I'm telling you, this book is going to outdo all those books. I'm telling you, I'm not saying this. You get what I'm saying?
And I read it, so I can
I'm I'm
I
just
can see
being
this spreading
honest.
like
I didn't,
wildfire.
and I want to be clear, and I want to make it clear to anybody that listens to this. I did not write this book. Okay. I'm gonna say it. I'm to the day I die. I did not write this book. I ain't nothing but a servant.
Mhm.
Okay. God just used me to write the words. I'm telling you, he was speaking, I was listening, I was typing
Yeah.
on my phone, on Word document. Okay. Word document on my phone. In the hospital with chronic headaches. Come on now.
Right.
And listening to God at this time about this book, and I couldn't believe it. Like I'm like, what, what, and everything he said. I'm telling you, everything that he said. I'm gonna tell you, I was like, what? What's next? What's next? What's next? Because I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen? Like I was very intrigued. Like I'm like, oh, you drawing me in something that I like to do. And he know that I love books. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is gonna be a great book. And I want people to know that it's a wake up call. It's a wake up call. Because that's what God wants you to do. He wants you to wake up from being blind. Don't stay blind. Don't stay blind because you can't see when you're blind.
Yes.
You can't see when you're blind. The only thing you see when you are blind, only thing that you have is your senses. You notice that when you're blind, your senses become stronger.
Yes.
But see, when you can see, I'm saying, even if you physically blind, God will still give you the spiritually have to see. You get what I'm saying? Don't be spiritually blind. Be spiritually awakened.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there's things that's gonna happen, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm not. Oh, shut it. it's things that's going to happen, and I'm saying this, if things are going to happen, you're going to have to be aware of.
Yes,
And
yes,
this is the time. I'm telling you, God speaks to me all the time, most of the time when I'm paying attention.
yes, yes. And you know what? Right there, you said when I'm paying attention, no, well, God is speaking all the time. And the caveat is, are we paying attention? Spirit is always
Hmm.
speaking. Are we listening? That's what the other side of the story is about. And it's really profound because you haven't talked about Angel yet, but just your story of what had to happen to sit you down. I You
Hmm.
were there for
Yes,
so long. I started to wonder, like, oh my God, please don't tell me
yes.
you're taking her because you
4 weeks.
you were there like too long and they weren't really saying anything. And you were like, they're just waiting for my numbers to get to a certain place and maybe they'll release
Yes,
me tomorrow, but it kept just like not being there. And you're talking about in the midst of who can even think to speak or type having migraine headaches. I know what it is to have
yes,
a migraine.
yes. And
So
I tell you, it. Look, I'm gonna tell you that day. I don't know what was going on with me because that day it didn't even. I wasn't even having no migraine.
you see, you see, and then when
Hmm.
you said you typed it on your cell phone, I was
On
like,
my cell
what?
phone,
Your
yes,
cell phone on Word on your cell.
yes.
I don't even
I
like
was
to
like,
type too many texts,
mm.
much less a whole book on yourself. But
I sure
that's
did.
that's a
I sure
narrow
did.
place that you have to be put to for the message to come through. And the fact that you just
Hmm.
started to even speak in tongues says to me there's so much more. We're going to do a part two because we've been on here for about 20 minutes, but we're going to do a part two and you guys meet us on the second half of this. I wanted to keep you all engaged so that you actually have to tune into that second part because this is not just, I thought at first it was for women. It's not just for women, it is for
Yes.
men, it's for young people, right? You're not
Hmm.
even married and don't have children, but the story that was told in there, and you know it came
For
through. You were just a
everybody.
clear channel for this information to come through. And this is the thing, like when you're talking about it's a wake call.
Hmm.
When we begin to wake up, this is how we can sit on our thrones that God has already given us and run and rule our kingdoms. That's what we're supposed to do. But asleep, we cannot do it. And we can see the condition of the world. And so, you guys, just hold on. We're coming back with part two.